And it makes a lot of sense when you look at it.
I think it's fair to say that.
Okay, well, this has been such a great conversation.
Yeah.
Until reality shows up.
AI writes algorithms. Algorithms create algorithms. We humans are left hoping they follow our guidelines and goals. Hope is what keeps us alive. Ira Gasparov.
Software is dead, or will be dead in a few years. RIP, the software.
Well, aren't you exaggerating a bit?
Hey, IT students, stop wasting your time at school. By the time you graduate, what you're learning today will be obsolete.
Yeah, heard that one before. Every decade, actually.
Chat with a bot in OpenClaw, search LinkedIn for leads, dive into Notebook LM for ideation, and Substack for inspirations. You can spin up a startup over a weekend now.
Sure, and a burnout by Monday. SaaS platforms and apps will quickly give way to AI, but software itself? It's not going anywhere.
It's not even software anymore. It's an AI stack. Hugging Face, open source GitHub repos, Discord communities, Anthropic's Claude, Cursor, Codex, all of it is one big AI toolbox now.
Exactly. A toolbox for vibe coding, still in human hands. People create and use software, not bots. Creation isn't just putting bricks together, it's masonry. Dare to be an architect instead of a mason.
Vibe coding isn't a vibe anymore. It has become the industry standard. Solo founders shipping SaaS with Cursor and Copilot, agencies building MVPs with Claude in days, teams replacing entire backend layers with RAG pipelines. The typical flow now? You don't open an IDE first, you open a chat. You paste logs and ask, what's wrong?
So that's the shift. One person with the right stack can now outbuild a small team from 2 years ago. GitHub Copilot writes up to 40 to 50% of code in real projects. You're not faster, you're assisted. Anyway, define software as you understand the term.
Applications ready for end users. Owned by companies, used internally or externally, sold as digital tools. Today, any serious company can build its own office suite, video editor, even a browser.
Okay, maybe, but what for? What you've described is SaaS, so at best, SaaS is dead. Typical programming languages will be deprecated, and even that won't happen overnight.
Okay, AI can plan, decide, use tools, and execute real-world tasks. All you need now is AI agents, MCP for semantic context, and RAG architecture. That's your production pipeline now.
You forgot a few layers. You need an infrastructure for compute, data layer with RAG plus data governance and document processing, then LLM layer, orchestration layer with AI agents, and finally, interface layer.
Interface layer will fade as quickly as RAG. RAG was a king a year ago, now replaced with massive context windows. No faces, no need for interfaces.
Where did you get that? RAG is not fading, but maturing from a hype in 2024 to architecture in 2026. And it improves rapidly. RAG 2.0, GraphRAG, LongRAG. But honestly, that's not even the point. It doesn't matter who or what delivers code and how it is structured. There will always be demand. The tools change rapidly, and there's a new teammate in the room. Faster than you, more reliable than you, with every iteration. If you only know how to write code, you're already behind. And yes, AI will replace most developers. Not overnight, but fast enough to make you uncomfortable. Software will remain, but it will be generated on demand and become more dynamic, I suppose.
Not overnight? Huh. All tools, the entire agentic stack, it's already out there, and it's evolving too fast to stay in human hands.
Well, inevitable future. But most frameworks describe this future in 3 layers: how AI agents think, how they connect, how they create value. Sounds complete. It isn't. There's an invisible layer, where AI agents find information, how they navigate the web, how extract, evaluate, and interpret data, and finally, they transform it into something usable. How they actually understand the world.
Come on, semantics.
Human layer.
Yeah, human for now. Because this means agents still struggle in messy environments. Changing data, real-time decisions, incomplete real-time signals.
It makes a huge difference and a lot of work here. AI models start becoming real-world operators. It's a shift of our role toward planning, setting goals, and evaluating actions.
This is, in fact, management, not software development.
So what? The software still exists. Created by humans, made by AI. Like your iPhone, designed in California, assembled in China. What's fading is coding by humans.
When everything, apps, security tools, languages, IT architecture, databases, is built and maintained by AI, humans are redundant in this loop, optional. Even human access will be limited. There's that scene in the Turing test. Ira Gasparov asks the lead coder, essentially just a supervisor of autonomous AI bots, Igor Shapiro, if he understands the latest Saskia's language. Igor admits he stands no chance. So yeah, not only coding is dead, and software evolves into something like an AI transformer.
Software becomes a process instead of product, and a programmer becomes an architect of intent. If you're in IT right now, you're not competing with other developers anymore.
You're competing with tools.
Worse, you're competing with guys who know how to use them better than you.
So developers are basically obsolete?
Replaceable.
What actually matters for them?
3 things. 1. Problem framing. Can you define what needs to be built? 2. System thinking. Do you understand how pieces connect? And 3. Judgment. Can you tell if the output is garbage or gold?
That sounds less like coding.
And more like decision making. Because the bottleneck is no longer execution.
So junior devs are in trouble?
Juniors who only write code? Yeah. But juniors who can think? They'll be fine. Assuming they're not just copying prompts from Twitter.
X.
Yeah, X. I wish it was still Twitter. Anyway, IT students should learn how to manage systems instead of writing lines of code.
Otherwise, we end up like Ira, hoping the system does what we meant.
And hope is not exactly a strategy.
Oh, yeah.
For now, the reins are still in human hands. Software is alive. Coding is dead. Period.
But there is a catch. People think this makes things simpler. It doesn't.
True, it hides complexity.
You're building systems you can't fully inspect, on top of systems you don't fully understand, generated by models you didn't train. That's uncomfortable.
It should be.
Because when something breaks, you don't debug. You investigate. That's a big difference.
Where exactly? Enlighten me.
Debugging assumes understanding. Investigation assumes uncertainty.
Right. But most people don't even notice they've crossed that line. Stop asking, how do I write this? Start asking, what should exist? Because the ones who define the system don't need to code it.
If this hit, stay close. If it didn't yet, it will.